I'm Simon Benninga. I'm the academic director of the Sofer International MBA program. Welcome. Please take your telephones out and turn them off. I already turned mine off. So this is our third graduation of this new program at the Faculty of Management of Tel Aviv University. I'm not going to say much in the beginning because I've decided to save my remarks for the end. So let me introduce, sitting here in front of you, Professor Moshe Tzviran, who is the Vice Dean of the Faculty of Management, so he runs this building, and Mr. Zohar Zisapel, who is our speaker for tonight. I'll introduce him in a few minutes. The program says that we start with Professor Ranan Rein, but something happened and he couldn't make it tonight. So I'm going to go straight and ask Moshe to welcome you all to this happy event. Moshe.
Hi, good evening, everyone. In the life of an academician and dean and vice dean, this is a minute of delight. You stand here, you see the new graduates, and you think, well, there are some fruits to what you're doing here on a daily basis. So first of all, before I start, thank you guys. It's a unique program. The Sofer International MBA is a unique program. It's one of two programs we carry out in English in this building, but it's the only one that has students from about 14 countries. Mostly we have 2 or 3, except this program. And this is our actual footprint in the global MBA arena. So we're very proud of this unique program. We enjoy having these students. It's the third round of international MBA students. We do maintain good contacts with the previous 2. We are sure we are going to maintain good contacts with you guys. I can tell you that most of you don't know, but on a daily basis, I walk through the corridor of the second floor, seeing most of you sitting in the small corners on the second floor in the patio, arguing in English. I can recognize you. You're the only ones arguing in English. Not necessarily only on the teaching material, but you are there having your lunch, and believe me, it brings us delight. We enjoy it. So it's a full-time MBA program. Most of our programs are part-time. So throughout the day, we see you guys. We see a lively neighborhood. And this is the second time I think I need to thank you guys. We enjoyed having you here. We think that we contributed to your knowledge. We think that we helped you pave the way for your future career. And the only thing I can say is, first of all, thank you to the wonderful team that leads this program. Thanks to the students. You'll have enough opportunities to thank them. Thanks to the students that spent a year here. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And we're looking forward to have you as a strong part of our alumni program and see you around here, not just until you're graduating, but even later than that. So enjoy the evening. Good luck to you and to your families. And Simon, the podium is yours.
So our keynote speaker tonight is Zohar Zisapel, who is a graduate of, among other places. He has an MBA from this building. You know, these days when you try to figure out how to introduce a speaker, what you do is you go to Wikipedia or to the website of RAD, which is Zohar's company. He founded it with his brother, and you pull up a couple of pages of important information. So I found out that you were born in Poland and your father ran a shoe store, which is a good way, I guess, to start in the high-tech business. And you're also a part-time professor here, and you run RAD. But you know what? Either you'll mention this or they'll read up on you later. I thought I would give you what's the most sincere compliment a person can get in academia? It's when they start writing academic papers about you. Okay? So, you know, when somebody starts talking about the Zisapel effect, you will know that he must be a really important person. So actually that's happened to Rad and to Zohar and his brother. We have a faculty member with a team here working on networking in Israeli high-tech industry. And if my memory doesn't betray me, Zohar, they've written a whole bunch of papers about you guys. And in all of these papers, what they talk about is that Rad is the most networked of all. Am I right about this? Yeah. Yes, most networked of all Israeli high-tech companies. If you look at where people came from in Israeli high-tech, then Rad is sort of the incubator before the concept of incubator was even on the Israeli map. So it's not just that Zohar is an important person in his own right and has helped make Israeli high-tech what it is, but it's also that he's had an enormous effect on the whole Israeli high-tech industry. So that's enough. I'm sure you'll take care of yourself from here on out. Let me welcome you to this graduation. Thank you for coming.
It is correct that I graduated here in Tel Aviv University in the MBA program. By the way, when I graduated, there was only one.
Don't touch anything. You're ruining my show. Oh, God.
Lovely.
It's not my fault. I mean, it's not my fault. Okay.
Okay, so what? Anyway, when I studied here, there was only one MBA. Now there are so many, and this is the first time I'm seeing the Sofer MBA, and it's very interesting to look at you, by the way. So it's very nice. I mean, the MBA, Tel Aviv University should have an international MBA, since this is the startup nation, etc. We should have that, and that's the right way to go. So you're doing a good job here. And I think, by the way, for me, it actually changed my life studying here. I mean, I've learned, I'm an engineer. Before that, I studied in engineering, electronic engineering. And what I got here changed a lot of things in my thinking, and maybe part of what I did later comes from what I studied here. But today I want to talk about a different subject. I want to talk about Columbus. That is Christopher Columbus. And why is that? Well, I hope in 10-15 minutes you'll know. For me, is kind of the ultimate entrepreneur. And let me tell you the story of Columbus. First of all, Columbus, by the way, came from Genoa in Italy. You may know that, and in Spanish. I mean, that we all know because he wrote in Spanish, etc. But he actually came from Italy. And that, of course, a lot of Jewish people say he's actually Jewish, and he was expelled from Spain and then came back, etc. I doubt that. But anyway, the guy, there was a need. There was a need of commerce between Europe and the East, especially India, which was the first country in the East, but all the East. Okay? And Marco Polo went a long way to do that, and other people did. And it was a very important need. So those were two important centers of the world. And here comes Columbus with an idea. And it's a very interesting idea to think about. Nowadays it's very trivial, but he says, well, the world is round, we know that. By the way, not all people knew that at the time. The Greeks were the first, by the way, to find out that the world is round and actually to measure the diameter of the world, etc. But somehow along the way it was forgotten, I guess. And anyway, he came and says the world is round, and we know what is the distance that people walked, especially Marco Polo, which had told a lot of stories and reports about how far did he walk all the way to India. So we have that circle here. We know he walked that far. So we can calculate, since we know the diameter, we can calculate how long do we have to go in the other direction through the sea. Okay? Simple, right? So this was his business plan. And he came with that business plan to Portugal. Portugal at the time was kind of the Silicon Valley of the of the seas due to the fact to the position of Portugal, if you look at the map. And they have looked at his business plan, the Portuguese, and they were very professional. And they discovered two mistakes. First of all, he took the diameter of the Earth as 2/3 of what the actual diameter is. And second, he made some trivial mistakes with Arabic and Italian mile, which created another difference. And anyway, when they've calculated that, they looked into it, they said, well, there is no way he's going to get to India through the other side because, you know, there is so much food and water that they could take on the ship. They could go for 3, maybe 4 weeks. That's it. Okay? So they have declined the offer. I'm not sure, by the way, I tried to find out if they ever told him about the mistakes. But in any case, in any rate, he went to Spain. He went to Spain, Ferdinand and Isabella. What did they do? They created a committee. And the committee was hearing his presentations. And by the way, he had 3 mistakes. The third mistake was to rely on Marco Polo, on the distance that Marco Polo was telling that he was going to India, because Marco Polo exaggerated by a factor of 2.5. Okay. Some people say he had to explain to his wife why he's so long away from home. But anyway. But they didn't know that, the Portuguese, of course. So here is in front of this committee in Spain, and that committee, and they were not convinced. And they say in their reports that he was kind of vague, he was secretive, he was very religious with a lot of quoting from the Bible, etc., but not really giving facts. But on the other side, they were not sure, so they didn't know what to do. So what does a committee do when they don't know what to do? They stall. And they waited, and they didn't take a decision for 4 years. Now, in the meantime, he was in court. So he was giving food and lodging, etc., and he stayed in court, not so bad. Nowadays, we call it entrepreneur in residence. But at that time, I don't know if they had a name. Anyway, after 4 years, they decided they'll go for it. They brought him to Ferdinand and Isabella, the queen and the king. And then he had his requests. He had his terms. And he asked for 4 things. He asked to get a title of a knight, a rank of an admiral. He asked to be the CEO of all the commerce that is going to be created that way through the sea, and to get 10% of all the profits. Now that nobody would accept that. You know, nowadays there is no entrepreneur which would accept only 10% of the profits, but at the time it was unknown of, and they didn't agree. And here came, he was a very good negotiator. And he said, okay, you don't agree, I'll go to England, to France, and he started to pack and started to move, and they agreed. Okay? So now I think it's something that, now think about that. Christopher Columbus, and a leader with 3 ships and, I don't know, maybe 100 sailors or less, and he leads them west, a little bit south, but mostly west, into the sea towards India. He knows how to get there. And he had a great belief, and he was very convincing. He was a real leader. Think about those people that after 2 weeks into the sea, there is no land in sight. They understand that they all know that they are going to a point of no return because they don't have now enough food and water to get back if they keep on moving forward. And they keep on moving forward. And everyone knows from the 6th of September to the 12th of October 92, they went all the way, and they got there. Let's see where it's there, you know. We know there is different than what they thought it's there, but anyway, here when they got, we found out new things about him, not so nice. He was very petty. The Queen Isabella promised the first sailor who is going to see the land, promised him a small prize. And naturally it was the sailor who was standing up on top of the mast. He was the first to see it. Anyway, Columbus took that prize for himself. Then, you know, when the commerce started and they built the territories, he insisted on being a CEO. He wasn't a very good manager, so he brought in help, like with his brother and his son and his cousins, and none of them were good managers. There were riots. He took few heads off, didn't help, and at the end of the day, at the end of the Queen and King sent Bombadilla, you may have heard his name too, to America or to India, what they thought then, and brought him back in chains. Now the guy was very insisting, and he did not give up. After that, he arranged another trip, which he financed himself, and tried to find other lands, and that wasn't a success, so he ended up by dying poor and lonely. Now, what do we learn from Columbus? First of all, we learn that you have to have an innovative idea, and it should answer a real need, or it should be in a really new market. And he certainly had that. And if you think about it, 15th century, to have that idea, it's not trivial at all. You have to have a teamwork, and do not be petty. He wasn't that. That we learn. He certainly wasn't a teamwork person. It's important to have a friendly investor or strategic partner or strategic investor if you had, and he certainly had that with the king and queen, and it helped, of course. You have to work very hard. You have to be very persistent, and you have to believe in what you do. Really believe, go all the way. Recruit good managers, and do not stick to stay as CEO if you don't have the management skills. Some of you may have. Go all the way. The best, it's always the best when a startup, the CEO of a startup is the entrepreneur. Look at Microsoft, look at Apple, there are many examples. But some people don't have that talent, so don't stay there. Let somebody else do the management. Presentation and negotiation skills are very important, of course, and he did that well. And last but not least, if on the way to India you have found America, it's fine. Thank you. Good luck.
We looked for India, but we could only find a cup that says the Faculty of Management, Tel Aviv University.
Made in China.
But it's made in China, so... okay.
Everything is made in China.
Everything is... so now I'd like to call on our alumni representative, Or Tamir. You guys are about to finish the program. Where's Or Tamir? We have an alumni association, and Or's going to tell you a little bit about it.
Good evening. Just a year ago, my classmates and I were sitting in your very seats. And I remember there was a lot of excitement there that night, much like tonight. Speaking with them later, I realized we were all sitting here pretty much thinking the same things. And if you're anything like past graduates, I imagine you're thinking something along the lines of, I can't believe the program's over, it went by so quickly. I can't wait to start my new job. For others, it's, I can't believe I haven't found a job yet, which is okay, you will. But mainly, it was, I can't believe it, I won't see those people again after such an intensive year together, day to day. And now we're leaving, we're dispersing. And it was around these shared feelings about the future that we decided to take action and found the Sofer Alumni Club. Now, the Sofer Alumni Club is basically a volunteer-based organization that's powered by alumni such as yourselves. And it was created to represent, connect, and generally add value to Sofer alumni wherever they are. And the way we're going about this is threefold. First is by creating and growing our joint professional network worldwide. Second is by building the Sofer alumni brand in the marketplace and trying to convey the unique offering that Sofer alumni bring. And third is through collaboration with the program, which we have been doing very closely this past year, and with the business school, in order to connect with future students, with future Sofer classes, and assist them professionally as alumni where we can. Now, who are these Sofer alumni and what's so special about them, about you? So for me, these guys are global, they're international, they're multicultural and multilingual. They're entrepreneurial, they're intense, they're fearless enough to come halfway around the world for a more than full-time learning experience in a startup nation. But they also, they care. They care about the environment, they care about giving back to the community, and they party as hard as they work. Now, in a professional world that's increasingly global, constantly connected, and always on, I believe Sofer alumni are exactly the kind of employees that global companies are looking for and the type of future entrepreneurs that will take the risk and drive innovation. For me personally, in the past year, I made use of the solid academic foundation and practical tool set that I acquired here in Sofer and in the business school. But really for me it was mostly more than that. It was the intense multicultural learning experience that I went through that helped me prepare me for working and managing in a fast-paced global tech company. Because work is also about the people in the end, and you meet some great and varied people in this program. Now, regarding the club, the past year wasn't only our foundation and definition of the Sofer Alumni Club. We also managed to embark on our first key activities, starting with the launch event that some of you participated in as students, which is the first time we managed to, as a club, bring together the classes and start to create that inter-class link, that network that we're aspiring to. It continued with the alumni website project that we did with the marketing interest group, with your marketing interest group, that did a great job and helping us brand the Sofer alum in a website form. And I hope the website will be up very soon so you can see the fruits of their labor. But really our largest ongoing effort this year was around creating the Sofer alumni community platform, which would serve to connect us, especially since people are going all around the world right now and we already have alumni all around the world. And it was co-designed with an exciting startup here in Israel. And I'm very proud and happy to say that we would be launching it tonight for you at the dinner. So don't forget to sign up and don't miss out on that. It's really your tool to stay connected and leverage the network professionally. Now looking into the future, I see the club reaching to the next level by, first of all, staying in touch through the platform and trying to figure out ways where we can help each other. Especially for you, it may be these days finding a new job. Tell us through the platform who you are, what you're looking for. We're out there we'll try to help. It's also leveraging the platform to offer you and all alumni unique recruiting and career opportunities in close collaboration with the Sofer Career Services. And hopefully we will produce a large annual event every year in Israel, bringing alumni together directly alongside the virtual community aspects. But looking even farther into the future, I think a longer-term, loftier goal is to open Sofer Alumni Club chapters in your home countries, in your territories, try to really extend our reach globally, and create some sort of a mechanism that will help us help alumni wherever they are. And in order to do all of that, we need volunteers. We need people to pitch in. And I encourage you to work with us, whether you're staying here or going back home or going abroad elsewhere to work. We really need you and appreciate your help. So, class of 2012, I'm very happy, and it is my pleasure to officially welcome you to the Sofer alumni community. We're looking forward to having you. Don't forget to sign up tonight, and my congratulations.
We had a hot election last week to decide who would represent the class from among the graduates. It was close. I ran the election, and I'm the only person who actually knows the results. So the person that you guys chose was Lapid Levy. You're next.
Hope I'm not going to mess with your keyboard. But Vice President of Tel Aviv University, Ranan Ryan, Vice President of Faculty of Management, Professor Moshe Ziv Ran, Mr. Zisapel, Director of Sofer IMBA, Mr. Professor Benenga, faculty members, friends, families, and my fellow graduate. Distinguished guest, good evening. Tonight, we are celebrating the end of an intensive year of studying, and we are marking the beginning of a new period of our life. I would like to reflect back with you on our remarkable year here at the Sofer International MBA. About a year ago, we each made our way to Tel Aviv University from 13 different countries. Together, we speak 13 different languages and represent 4 major religions, including Judaism, Islam, Christianity, and Hindus. Our backgrounds represent various sectors of society, from NGOs to a rocket science, to a geophysics engineer, to accountant, and to a PhD in life science. To me, one of the most impressive aspects of the program is how quickly such a diverse group of students melted into a warm family. I feel that this program is unique as it has emphasized not only numbers, but also the importance of developing a multicultural relationship. This year was proof that the gaps between nationalities and religions on a personal level are much smaller than what we think. Today, it seems like the world is moving faster. Usually, it takes between 2 to 2.5 years until you complete your MBA. We did it in less than a year. Let me tell you, it wasn't easy to submit. We submitted about 200 papers, assignments, midterms, and exams. I do not have enough fingers and toes to count the numbers of nights we stayed up to finish a reading or write a paper. Throughout the year, we struggle with the materials. Yet, we hold ourselves to the highest standards possible. We even wrote a document detailing our guidelines and expectations from ourselves, the professors, and assistants. Our journey to India shaped our lives in a way that allowed us to contemplate and consider the nature of social development. This emotional journey opened our eyes to the needs of the world at large, which mirrors the needs of our own communities. Most of all, the experience reminded us to be grateful for the gifts of our lives. Today, we understand the importance of adapting to the difficulties and opportunities of globalization, of creating employment and stabilities across all sectors of society, and of ensuring a basic standards of living for all human beings. Yet, to accomplish this, we had to learn how to create an effective organization, collaborate with others, improve performance, build communities, use networks, develop consensus, resolve conflicts, and solve problems creatively. This is what the last year was all about. I chose to study an MBA because I believe that business exists to solve problems and to meet the needs of a certain group, either by providing a product or a service. I see the world of business as a way to bridge gaps and as an opportunity to make a difference in our communities and in our world. Business has the ability and the power to make the world a better place. Anne Frank wrote in her diary how wonderful it is that nobody need wait a single moment before starting to improve the world. As future business leaders, this is our responsibility. Ladies and gentlemen, in front of you are the future managers, investors, CEOs, presidents, accountants, entrepreneurs, business partners, sales and marketing directors, professors, and the list could go on. In short, in front of you are the future leaders of the global economy. Professor Beninga, the Sofer program is a reflection of you. You believe in us as a group, and you believe in us as individuals. Your true passion was evident from the start, and we would like to thank you for the opportunity you gave us to be part of the Sofer program. Without you, this last year would not have been as meaningful as it was. And to the administrations and professors, thank you for opening our eyes and mind to the world of business. I would like also to thank our beloved friends and families, many who traveled from all over the world to be here with us tonight. Without you, I'm not sure that we would have survived this intensive year. Thank you for your kind words and support. And last but not least, to my fellow graduates, thank you for a wonderful year of friendship. I feel privileged and honored to have met each and every one of you. I've never met a group of people so supportive, so willing to help each other succeed, and to do so without the need to compete with each other. In the near future, we will be joining the multifaceted business world. I believe that we become more successful when we are happier, and that being rich in your heart is more important than having extra money in your pocket. So find the job you love and make your dream come true. With the knowledge and the practice we acquire at the Sofer International MBA, let's be different, let's make a difference, and let's inspire others. Good luck, and thank you for an incredible year, one I will never forget. Thank you. Officially I'm done, but not really. So you all know me. I mean, we spent the year together. It's 24/7. So now I would like to invite to the stage Noam, Katie, and Romy, our class rep.
We just wanted to take a moment and thank 7 individuals who really brought us all here, took care of us, made sure that we had everything we need, dealt with all of our complaints, and dealt with all of our complaints. And we wanted to just thank them. We have a little something for them, and as well as you, Simon. We couldn't have done any of this without you guys, and you guys are like family to us, and we hope that your doors are always going to be open to us no matter how many times we come in asking for a job. So thank you. Thank you very much.
You guys
Come on up, and of course, Sigal.
Sigal? Where's Sigal? I feel like a bar mitzvah. Or, where is the check? So we have a cards for you, Julia.
Thank you.
Is there a check inside?
Well, you know, we learned in the ethic course we're not allowed to give more than 50 shekels a gift. So no checks. Where's Sigal? Thank you.
One more.
Purple ones are hanging.
For you.
Another round of hand
We also would like to present to Simon in particular, thank you for leading the program, a signed picture from all of us.
This was not on the program. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I get to say the last word, right? Before we give you the diplomas. Even though I have to say, Lapid, I'm angry at you because you stole some of my thunder, but what the heck. First of all, I want to honor two people. This program, it's called the Sofer program. It's named after two wonderful donors, Michael Sofer and Philip Sofer, and that's not either one of them. When you make a big donation like the one we got, one of the things you get to do as a donor is to specify or to negotiate what you want. And the Sofers were very specific about one thing. They wanted us to have Palestinian students in our program. Actually, they wanted us to have Palestinian students, specifically women. This year, we flubbed up a little bit. We have a, what can you do? Anyway, now, you know, in the reality of Israel and Palestine, it's one thing to recruit. It's another thing to get permissions. And for the past 2 years, we've had help from a wonderful woman, Hannah Barag, who every time I have a problem getting a permission or solving some bureaucratic problem, I call Hannah, and I don't know, she manages to solve it. So Hannah, if you would come up here, and if Shireen would come up. It's a very modest certificate that says, to Hannah Barag, this is to certify that on the 15th of August, Tel Aviv University honored Hannah Barag in recognition of her efforts and assistance on behalf of the Sofer International MBA program. We've kept it a little neutral so you can hang it on any wall. No one will ever know.
Hannah, also on behalf of the Palestinian women, especially women, I hope also to have more women and more Palestinians to join this program. Thank you very much. Some symbolic gift just to say thank you for everything you did. Without you, it wouldn't have been a reality. Thank you, Hannah.
So you're our third class, but it's our fourth year. We spent a whole year trying to figure out how to make this program work. And after 4 years, we feel like we're maybe close. And the first two people involved with the program were, I think actually the very first person was you, Tal. Who knows? Same day. Tal and Aaron were here. That's Tal. We've accompanied him to a lot of life events. He got married. He had a baby. He won he was the center of the Israeli semi-professional football league, amateur winning team. And now at the end of September, Tal's moving on. So Tal, come up here. And the staff, come up here. It's easier hugging Hannah Barag, actually.
It's like a futon hugging me.
So we didn't quite know what to get you. I don't know. There's still room on here to sign, and we'll have the football out at the dinner, so you can all sign the football. Okay, onwards and upwards. Now here I have to admit that my thunder has already been stolen by Lapid and his mafia, because you already thanked everybody. But let me just say that in this program we have 4 permanent staff, and during the year we had a lot of life events this year. We had 2 babies, and Sigal came in for 6 months and really helped us out. So I'd like to thank Sarah and Sigal and Aaron and Julia and Tal and Sharon Shaked, who's not really part of our team, but who has helped us with international relations and the exchange program. Did I forget Rebecca? Oh my God. Oh, but wait. Oh dear. Now I'll be beholden to her forever. Okay, thank you all very much. Okay. Now I have a few things to say in closing, and we have an honor code here. So you're supposed to cite where you took it from. So let me say that almost everything I'm going to say in the next 5 minutes is based on an article in this week's New Yorker magazine by a gentleman named James Surowiecki, who is, I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation, who is probably the best writer on economics in the United States. The article, as you can see, is called Downsizing Supersize. I don't know how many of you follow the news, but the mayor of New York, Michael Bloomberg, has announced a plan to ban big drinks. Have you been following this? Yeah, there he is, Mr. Bloomberg. He's a fairly wealthy gentleman. and he's sitting here with his vice mayor. It's a bad picture. It's from the New York Times. With this big drink over here, that's 40 fluid ounces, which is a liter and a quarter or something like that. It's a lot of Coca-Cola or whatever. And he's announced a plan to ban the sale of any drinks over 16 ounces. That's about half a liter, I think, in New York. And this plan received a lot of negative publicity. I was looking for some quotes, and I found a Republican from Queens who said that this plan challenges the principles on which our country was founded. I looked actually in view of Zohar's speech to see if maybe Columbus also had a plan of drinking 40 ounces of Coca-Cola, but I couldn't find it. I even managed to find an Israeli angle. The New York Times had a quote from somebody named David Krakauer, a 16-year-old native from New York who lives in Israel, who said, "In Israel, every person has the right to decide how much soda he can drink, not the government." That's true, by the way. Okay, it's an amazing country, Israel. And then I found, Bloomberg has these sort of inclinations to ban things. The New York Times ran a thing saying, what else should he ban? And people had all kinds of ideas. I asked my wife. I knew what her answer would be. Where is she? She doesn't. She's here. She thinks that donuts should be banned. And she's really serious. I told her if her plan goes through, we will have like a black market in donuts. Like people will be standing on the street corner, instead of saying, "Hey, you want to hit a crack?" they would say, "Hey, would you like a genuine donut?" But anyway, so this is a controversial plan. Now, and then there was, it's interesting what you can do when you start with a lot of bullshit, like you generate some really interesting comments. So here's somebody from the American Beverage Association who says, 150 years of research find that people consume what they want. Okay. Now, where do people get this kind of garbage from? God knows. Okay. Now, I go back to Mr. Surowiecki. Okay, so far some of this is my contribution. And, it turns out, as you know, I'm talking now to these guys who have studied courses like marketing and consumer behavior, that's not true at all. Right? It's true that you do sort of what you want, but it's very easy to frame, as we like to say these days, what it is you want. Okay? So some people say, this is Mr. Surowiecki, whom I'm quoting from, they say, well, what's the mayor of New York trying to do? This is blatantly paternalistic. People should make their own decisions. And then it turns out that the fact that you're trying to impose behavior on somebody, which is sort of what your mother would tell you to do, that doesn't mean it's bad, and it doesn't mean that it won't work. In fact, what Bloomberg is proposing is what economists call default bias. It turns out that if I give you a bunch of options, but one of them is at the top of the list, then you tend to do that. Okay, that's default bias. There are many ways of framing this. So, for example, we know, see, I'm getting serious. It's not so funny anymore. We know that if you tell people that they're automatically enrolled in a retirement plan, and then you say to them, and by the way, here are 22 other choices, they will tend to stay enrolled in the retirement plan that you give them. Interesting, no? We also know, look at the second bullet. If we ask people if they want to be organ donors, they'll say no. But if we tell people that they're organ donors. Israel is about to pass a law like this. Okay, the law says everybody is an organ donor unless you fill in a form opting out. They'll say, okay. Okay? So what's the message here? The message here is, you know, maybe if I tell people they can't drink more than 16 ounces, they won't drink more than 16 ounces. And in the framework of sort of research, I don't think this research was done 150 years ago. This was actually done by 2 Israeli researchers. And they did something interesting. They took a large apartment building and they put a big canister of M&Ms on the counter and they said, eat your fill. But on some days they had a tablespoon there with which you could take the M&Ms and scoop them into your hand. And on some days they had a cup, which is 4 times as large as a tablespoon. And guess what? When they had the tablespoon, people ate a tablespoon. When they had the cup, they ate the cup. So what this suggests, or this is what Mr. Surowiecki says, is it's not really that we know what to do. We have a strong default bias. We're very, very subject to the kinds of signals that we are given. Okay, now what does this have to do with tonight and with graduating and how I'm going to turn one sort of nonsense into a message? It occurred to me that what I should be saying to you at this point is that in our program and in most of the business programs taught in this building, we also talk about default bias. We not only make you take courses in accounting, in marketing, in statistics, you know, all of these, entrepreneurship, but we also made you take an ethics course, and we talked about behavior, and a large number of you took our social responsibility course called MBA Cares, okay? And what was the message there? The message there was, you know, if you're going to operate in life, you need a certain number of your own default biases. You have to think you're going to come to grips with a lot of ethically and morally dubious propositions in your life. And I hope that some of what we've done this year has helped you make the kinds of default biases that will help you react in the correct way. In any case, that's my wish for all of you guys, that you not only succeed, but that when you get out of here, you act ethically, that you have a lot of good luck and a lot of prosperity and a lot of the best default biases. That's it. How are we going to do this? Okay, we have the diplomas. Okay. Now, everybody who gets called up here gets a diploma, and since I've just talked about ethics, I want to make a confession. The confession is that these diplomas are not real. Okay? In fact, no one here is graduating tonight. Now, no, I didn't mean that you're not graduating. Okay, let me explain. The people on the front rows know this, but the people in the back maybe don't know this. What happens is like this. Our last day of classes is tomorrow, and then everybody disperses. But it takes us quite a while to process the information about each student's academic achievements and about whether they have fulfilled their academic requirements. We have 3 or 4 students who are abroad. That will take until February. So it's going to take us a while. But on the other hand, tonight is pretty much the last time we'll always all be together in this particular way. So we had to figure out how to do this. And so we give you a diploma. You can hang it on your wall. And that's really my signature. But the bottom says, this is not an official diploma. Well, we don't want you to go out and say, well, look, I graduated from Tel Aviv University and I have a Master in Business Administration, but it's not true. So an official diploma will be bestowed at a later date. Okay? So I've confessed. Confession is good for the soul. What else is in here? There's a diploma. There's a letter from all of us. There's some paperwork. We're a university. We love bureaucracy. There's a card, right?
It's actually your essays that you wrote when you applied for the program.
That'll be embarrassing. And there's a picture. And there's an official membership in the Sofer Alumni Association. Granadi Alumni Association. Okay. So having said that, we're going to call out all the names. Who wants to do that?
I'll call, Julia will hand, and you shake hands.
Okay. And when you, once you get your diploma, if you would manage to stand up here at a very, very small podium, we need you all together so that at the end you can throw your caps up in the air and make a little noise. Okay.
Okay, so we're starting with Sarit. Sarit Auslander. If you want to stand up in the side, and then it'll be easier, just the graduates to stand on the sides here so you can access the stage easier. And if you'll join us from this side to that side. She's getting it.
Everyone will have his own picture. That's why
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
You ready? Okay.
Okay, go.
Sarit, you'll walk across the front here. Yeah. Sarit Auslander. Nicole Avrochel. We'll also be reading the names of the students that aren't here today. Some of them are studying abroad. So this is Ziad Abu Habla. Vaso Edvak Akapati. Michelle Applebaum. Shireen Awad Halal. Brandon Barish. Noam Bloom. Robert Eisenberg.
Hi, Mom.
Odette Greenberg. Omar Hamayel. Cindy Herrera. Pavel Yalba. Redir Kori. Abraham Kletzel. Yael Kochman. Amit Koren. Alina Kovalevich. Daniela Kurtz. She knows what she's saying. Emmanuel Goldfein. Lapid Levy. Yoni McCanian. Donna Maher. Jared Miller. Jaime Nakash. Romy Rubetsky. Dan Siggy. David Schutzberger.
Thanks.
Congratulations. Devorah Sirkin. Adina Test. Katie West. Darren Williamson. Brent Yarkin. Congratulations. Shai Zamir. Yair Zalmon. Muhammad Zidani. Last but not least, Shimon Zotnik.
Okay, before we do whatever we do, after this you are all invited to join us for dinner at 2C Restaurant in the round building of the Azrieli Towers.
49th floor.
Okay, so by the authority invested in me by Tel Aviv University, I declare you almost graduates of Tel Aviv University.